Hello and welcome everyone to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'm going to be giving my weekly update. This is Liam's Leapings number 34, update for the 8th of April, 2023. So it is a day before Easter Sunday. Well, it's 2 days as when I'm recording this. I really need a haircut. Does my hair look kind of long? I feel like it does. I'll probably get one of those soon. Yeah, so I didn't actually get that much reading done this week. I will tell you, the one singular novel I finished was Residue by Steve Diamond. This is the second novel I've read by Diamond, but the first one was co-written with Larry Correia. That was Servants of War. This is fun YA, like paranormal. It's very fun. I liked it a lot, actually. So there's a sequel, I believe, that's supposed to be coming out this year called Parasites. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's a long wait, though. This came out in 2015, I think, originally. So that's about 8 years. That's a long time. So I really enjoyed this, though. I've talked to Steve. Steve's a cool guy. I thought about asking him if he wanted to come on and chat sometime, but I have not asked him. I don't know. I haven't done a chatting with like an author or anyone like that recently. The last couple I asked just haven't worked out. Not saying that they wouldn't. I can't technically. I never got an outright no for that matter. So yeah. Anyways, so Residue. The other book I finished actually was a like a proof. I don't know what you would call it. Like a copy of Half Human Heroes, which is coming out in May. The middle of May, I think it's May 15th. So I will definitely make a video about that when it comes out. I'll make a review as well. I'm not sure if that's going to be the same video, if it's going to be a review and like mentioning the release of it. At the same time, I have a story in it, which is why I got it early. But I just finished it. I read all the stories this week. I mean, it's not like super long and they're fun stories. Yeah, it's fun. So Half Human Heroes, they're all written basically by booktubers. Yeah, I know some people will be interested in that. Other people might not be, but I think it's cool. A lot of good variety of fantasy stories in there. Sorry, I'm like a little congested, so my voice might sound a little funny, but that's the other thing I finished, though, was Half Human Heroes. And then the other things I read, like as far as novels go, oh, there's another one I didn't. Okay, yeah. So Stress of Her Regard by Tim Powers, which I mentioned last week. I just got so little reading in this week, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But this is really fun still, but I'm only about halfway through. So hopefully I'll finish this this next week. But it is very fun, romantic, gothic tale, for that way. And then I also started Between Princesses and Other Jobs by DJ Butler. The e-arc came out today. And so I started that, even though I've read maybe about half the stories in there, because it's really like a fix-up novel in a sense. It's a collection of all Indrajit and fixed stories. They all take place after In the Palace Shadow and Joy and before the third book, which is a novel. Excuse me. So that novel, I believe, also comes out later this year. That might come out next year. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I'm really looking forward to reading more of that. So yeah, there's that. And then I think one more novel I started. Not a novel I thought I would start, but it's Breakaway by Joel Shepherd. I talked to Steve actually about Steve Diamond, right, about these books actually at LTUE in February. And this is the second Cassandra Krasinov novel. I'm not even quite 100 pages in, I think. This one's just shy of 400 pages. The first novel in this series, Crossover, which I did a review for late last year, was the main influence for a novella I wrote. I mean, it's finished now. I finished it this week. I put out a little community post for anyone who want to be a beta reader. I have a good amount of beta readers now. I probably don't need any more. I guess if someone really wanted to, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say no. But so I finished that, and then I went through and edited it, and then I was like, I need to read more Cassandra Krasinov. I mean, the novella itself is inspired by a lot of things, I don't know if I should bore you with all the details of that right now. I'd like to self-publish it because it's a novella. There's not a ton of places you can get a novella published. I thought I might as well just self-publish it. And so I'll talk about it. If that happens, I'll definitely talk about it. You know what I mean? Like more in depth. But Cassandra Krasinov, reading Crossover was like probably the biggest influence on it. At least like maybe not the biggest influence, but it was like one of the biggest. Like if there's a couple of really big ones. And it was at least reading that novel that pushed me into finally writing that novella. So I finished that novella this week, actually. That's the exciting thing this week. That's part of the reason I got less work done. My school ended this week, Tuesday, this semester at least, really early. I know my school does trimesters, so they're shorter. So I start again in like the middle of April, and I go until the middle of July. But yeah, so I wrote a ton for that. Like Monday, it's alone. I wrote like 4 essays, and then I wrote 4,000 words in the novella, right? So, and then the next day I wrote more than 4,000 words in the novella. I must have. I don't know. I wrote a ton. It was a ridiculous amount. Okay, because I started that week with like 1,400 words in the novella, and I only spent really 2 days writing the rest of it. And it came out to about double that. So it's about 28,000 words. So that means I wrote about 7,000 words, 2 days, along with all the other stuff I was writing. So I wrote a column as well, which I submitted. And so I'll talk about that if that also comes out or when that does. So, I mean, it's been a pretty good week. I'm really happy I finished the novella finally. Like I just like had the inspiration because I wrote most of it last summer. And then I was like, it was basically 2 sessions. It was like 2 little periods, like 1 week where I wrote half of it, another week where I wrote the next half, but it was like 6 months apart, essentially. So I'm glad to finally have that done. I'm trying to see, like I said, if I can get that self-published. I think that'd be cool. But of course, I mean, I have stuff published, but I don't know. It just seems like something self-published. I'd like to do a series of stories about this character. And actually, interesting enough, that my half-human hero story, Amaranthine Amphitheater, which comes out in May, right? I read it earlier, mentioned it earlier. That is a story about Renata, who is the main character in this novella. The novella is what I started first for Renata. That short story is the first story of Renata that I've ever finished. And it's pretty short, actually, in Half Human Heroes. I'm pretty sure my story is the shortest one, by like a page, barely, but like it's the shortest one. I'm pretty sure it's pretty short. Yeah, so that was cool. And then I read an essay. I'll stop talking about that, so I'll talk too long. I read an essay in this, The Dark Man Journal of Robert E. Howard in Pulp Studies. It is an academic journal about Robert E. Howard in Pulp Studies. I read Building a Universe, an analysis of the works, lives, and influences of the Lovecraft Circle. This is written by Quinn Forskett, I think is the name. And then the other, it was pretty good. I read that like right after filming last week, so it's been a minute, but I enjoyed it. It had some good information in that I did not know. If you know nothing about Lovecraft and what's not, it would probably be very informative. And then I read a couple of short stories this week, besides, Half Human Heroes ones. And that is The Royal Game by Christopher Rocchio, which is like the story in Grimdark magazine for April. That was fun. And then I liked it a lot, actually. No, it was good. Not my favorite Sun Eater short story, but it's a good one. I think Gutter Ballet might be my favorite, or maybe The Argonaut. Mother of Monsters is pretty good too. And I just haven't read an excessive amount anyways. And then I read The Comet by Webb Dubois. I don't know what to say Dubois, but that's not how I said it. Du Bois, I think is how I said it. And I made a video about that on Tuesday. That was actually for a class. So I came out on Tuesday, or else I would have put it out on Wednesday. But yeah, so there was that. And then that's basically it. I don't want to keep you too long because I'm not very exciting. I did get The Willows by Algernon Blackwood. I read some of this actually too, but I didn't finish it, so I didn't mention it. I got The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. So this is like stuff that influenced Lovecraft, so I thought it would be fun. And I got, issue 10 of Tales from the Magician's School. And honestly, I need to like binge read Tales from the Magician's School, because I haven't read enough of these. I have them, so when I do want to read, most of them, I really want to read this one because this one's by Jason Ray Carney. I like Carney's style a lot. The Sorcerer's Mask. In my review of A Book of Blades, there's a story in there. I believe it's about the Rogue, who's a character also in the Crowncast Chronicle, and this is about the Rogue as well. This story here, The Sorcerer's Mask, and I compared him a little bit to Glenn Cook, even part of his style, but he's good. I like it, and Jason's cool actually. He's a very busy guy, so but he's a contemporary sword and sorcery author, maybe you've not heard of. So his biggest publication, I believe, is Rakefire, I think, and other stories, but it's like out of print, and the publisher refuses to print more, and like to give him back his right. I don't really know what's going on there, but it's hard to. It's like impossible to get a hold of, basically. So I can't say like go and pick up this book by him, because good luck. But you can read stories. The Cromcast Chronicles are free online, so yeah. Anyways, that's about it, I guess. I feel like there's probably more to say here. I'm not sure what else to say. Yeah, there's a few books I don't like how in the middle of things I am on books. But hopefully I'll finish more this week. Hopefully I'll get more writing in. That'd be awesome. This is a really productive week for writing for me. This next week is basically vacation for me. And so I will hopefully get more writing in. Hopefully it'll be very productive. And we'll see, like, I'm trying to get more like experience doing things so I can get basically the job I want rather than the job I have, if that makes sense. So with writing and editing and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm working on it. My birthday actually is on Easter, so hopefully that'll be fine. I'm looking forward to that actually, because I like having my birthday on Easter. It doesn't happen very often. So yeah, so Easter is Sunday, and it's my birthday, so that'll be fun. So anyways, happy Easter to everybody, whether you celebrate or not. Hopefully it's a good day. So also, cool note, I'm pretty sure English is like the only Germanic language that has the word Easter named after Easter, who is a goddess, actually, Germanic pagan goddess, rather than naming it after, the Latin word, rather. I think German has an old, like, archaic word for it, and I totally am blanking on it right now. Is it Astura? I can't remember. It's something like that. But English is the only one. It's named after Eastermonth, which is Easter month, which is supposedly, according to Bede, named after a goddess named Easter. Estra, whatever name would have been. But anyways, but now it is associated with Christianity, which is fine. Yeah, Yule is also a pagan holiday. And I guess the date for that is Sol Invictus. So it doesn't matter. Anyways, just fun fact for the day, Easter, Germanic deity. Anyways, I'll catch you next time.